What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrubby here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am, and today, ladies and gentlemen, I've got a story time for y'all that was sent in to the Instagram about a kid who ended up getting his car stolen by his nemesis's dad, which, you know, is taking the high school beef thing a little bit too far. Defending your kid, I understand. Committing a felony, Grand Theft Auto, ooh, I'm not too sure if I can understand where you're coming from on that one. Regardless, it should be a pretty fun video, and be sure to press the like button, or no joke, no scam, your car's gonna get stolen by the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
The sun's down and I'm feeling it right, so tell me, little mama, what you doing tonight? You know I'm trying to hit it, I'm the
Alright, so as I said, this is a subscriber story, and for the reasons of this video, I'm going to change the name. The main character, we're going to name him Zach, and Zach was a pretty good kid. I wouldn't say he was the type of person to regularly be committing felonies and other serious crimes, so, you know, I have to give him some credit. Holding back off committing Grand Theft Auto is apparently pretty difficult. But, you know, as much as Zach is not the type of kid to go out there and commit a felony and spend the rest of his life in prison, I guess there were some kids in the area that just didn't really get that memo. Oh yeah, I'm totally down for committing crimes for pointless high school beef. That's like half the point. What's the point of being a high schooler if you're not gonna go out of your way to do stupid things that could ruin your life forever? Don't get it wrong, you know, I understand that sometimes beefs can happen, sometimes you're not gonna like somebody, but that being said, it's probably just never a good idea to go around committing felonies to get back at your enemy, bro. Cause, you know, don't take this the wrong way, but I highly doubt the cops are gonna like that excuse. Well, you see, officer, the bank robbery I committed wasn't actually for me. It was to piss off the owner, Jimmy. Went to high school with the guy. Anyways, Zach, for whatever reason, had mega beef for this kid that we're gonna call Andy for the rest of the video, and it was one of those situations where, like, they just absolutely hated each other, and they weren't even really sure where it came from. Like, they had just hated each other for so long at this point, since, like, first grade, that they couldn't remember the event that made them hate each other, but, you know, they were worst enemies. And Andy hated Zach back, even more than Zach hated Andy. Like, these two guys hated each other. And it wasn't bizarre for, like, the hatred to just reach irrational, crazy levels that everybody else around them was very uncomfortable with. One time, Zach would skate a little bit, was, like, skating from the school to the car in the parking lot where he was going to get a ride home from, because he couldn't drive yet at the time, and for whatever reason, Andy, like, checked him off of the skateboard with a bunch of power and ended up breaking his wrist. Obviously, that takes things to a new level. That's a good way to hate someone, but Andy pushing him off the skateboard and breaking his wrist was just revenge for when Zach stole his girlfriend, but that was revenge for when Andy ended up, you know, bullying his little brother to the point where he had to change schools, and then that was revenge for da-da-da-da. You guys get the idea. These two people did not like each other and were just going back and forth being awful to one another. Andy and Zach were basically the equivalent of, like, Heat Miser and Snow Miser from that one Christmas movie where, you know, sure, we might go to the same place, we might have the same mom, but I hate you and I'm gonna make your life miserable. Anyways, y'all get the idea. These two guys hated each other. They both had good reasons to hate each other, so for that reason, whatever, you know, I'll let it slide. It's kind of weird to have somebody with beef that hard that you don't remember, but whatever. It's the kind of rivalry that created a Bond villain, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if 15 years from now we ended up with Andy, like, on an island somewhere with a missile silo, giving this speech to Zach about how, if you had simply let me bully you more in high school, so maybe I would have never nuked the planet. Anyways, Bond villains aside, I guess getting a car at their school was a huge deal, you know? Like, obviously, whenever you get a car and you're in high school, it's a big deal. You feel like on top of the world. But maybe the rest of your school doesn't care so much. For whatever reason, I guess this school that they went to, people who got cars were instantly, like, superstars. The best way to get popular as fast as humanly possible was to get an automobile, bro. It could have been a Model T, it could have been a Ferrari, it didn't matter. Just having a car made you one of the coolest kids in school. And honestly, there weren't a lot of kids who had cars, that's why it was so cool. And for whatever reason, I guess one weekend, Zach ends up getting a car with all the money he had been working for. He had been taking up odd minimum wage jobs in the summer, you know, he had been working since he was 14 to be able to get this car, so he buys it, and the same weekend that he gets gets his car, I guess Andy's parents went out and bought him an incredibly nice car because he had rich parents that bought him anything he wanted. And normally it'd be like, ah, damn, 2 people got cars this weekend, everybody just get over it. But for whatever reason, Andy was very upset that the car his mommy and daddy bought him would be sharing a parking lot with somebody else on the same day. You know how the kids with rich parents who get them anything are, like, everything has to go their way and be their thing, like, otherwise they're gonna throw a temper tantrum. Yeah, that was kind of the situation going on here. And I guess he was just so upset that somebody else had gotten a car on his weekend that he ended up reaching out to Zach on Instagram with some crazy demands. I guess Zach had been taking a nap and he woke up to his phone just kind of buzzing like crazy, and he checks and it's Andy basically saying that Zach isn't allowed to drive to school for a week in his new car because Andy wants all the attention on him for a bit. And honestly, Zach's like, wow, that sucks. You want all the attention on you? That's chill. I'm tired of asking for rides and having to take the bus. I just worked for a couple years to get a car. So no, Andy, I don't really care that you want all the attention. I'm going to drive my car to school. And, he tells Andy no, which I think is fair. No, I'm not going to take my car that I just paid for to school because you don't want me to. And Andy did not like that. No. Andy was very upset, bro. You would have thought somebody just called his mom a whore in a Halo game. Anyway, Zach tells Andy no. I'm going to park my car in the parking lot. There's nothing you can do about it. He doesn't like that. And so the Instagram DMs that were like, please don't drive your car here, otherwise we're going to have problems, instantly start becoming threats, dude. But not like concrete threats, it's obviously Andy didn't actually know what he was going to do, so he just starts hitting him with the, if you drive your car to school, you're going to regret it. I'm going to make your life miserable. And obviously not a fan of being threatened. Zach, when he starts saying that, is like, all right, well, what is that supposed to mean? How am I going to regret it, huh? You're going to make me regret driving my car to school? And at this point, he kind of starts giving Andy attitude back, which I don't blame him for, bro. Nobody likes to be threatened, especially by somebody that's just not threatening. So eventually, he gets attitude. He's giving him crap. He has no good answers. So he just tells Andy, look, I'm driving to school, and if anything happens to my car, you're an idiot because you just told me that you were going to be the one to do it. And as soon as he points out that, like, it's probably not a good look for Andy to have threatened the person in a place where there's going to be screenshots and evidence, Andy goes ahead and just unsends everything that he had sent so far. He instantly realizes, like, ah, crap, I just threatened something was going to happen to his car if he drove it here, so now I've got to just get rid of the messages. So as he's unsending everything, Zach gets a screenshot. He doesn't get the most, like, incriminating message of, like, you're going to regret it, or, like, I can't say what's going to happen, but something will. Like, those types of messages got taken out. But what he does screenshot definitely does give the vibe of, like, this kid trying to threaten him into not parking his car in the school parking lot. What really blows my mind is that, like, either of them were this upset about it, bro. Don't take it the wrong way, but I'm sure the parking lot is big enough for the both of you, even though we live in America, even if you are pretty chunky. Like, Andy, all right, hypothetically, congratulations, your parents bought you a car or whatever, they're spoiling you for life, you're never gonna have a good work ethic. That being said, maybe you could just talk to this Zach kid and be like, hey, park on the other side of the parking lot or something. I don't know, maybe anything other than threatening to make their car go missing or, like, have problems is a good idea, especially because I feel like it's a pretty large commitment to be like, yeah, someone's gonna commit Grand Theft Auto in a felony just so I will be the only person with a new car in the parking lot this week. And let's be realistic, Zach had worked hard to buy his car with his minimum wage job for years. You got a car bought by rich parents. I'm sure you even had the cooler car, Andy. Let's keep it $150. I highly doubt that Zach over here, saving all of his money from pushing grocery carts, was able to buy a Ferrari compared to your rich lawyer dad. And trust me, I did push carts for a while, so I know for a fact you weren't getting a cool car, bro. My car was pretty momish. Whatever though, he just blows it off, so assumes that Andy was getting really over emotional. So the day comes and he drives to school just like he said he would. He pulls into the parking lot, he gets out, he's not trying to make a scene, he's not trying to have people crowded around him, he just wants to go to school. So he's on his way across the parking lot and there's like a group of people crowded around Andy's car because it was a cool car and it's new and he loved the attention. He wasn't just trying to park and go inside. He wanted everybody and their mom to be like, whoa, bro, sick car. Yo, dude, that's gnarly. Whoa, oh, yeah. And I just don't really understand Andy's thought process here. Everyone knows your parents bought that for you, bro. Do you really think anybody is like, nah, a high schooler got the $75,000 for this car? You know, like, I just don't Flexing a car in high school ain't that sick because we all know that you didn't pay for it. Oh, my mom and dad have a lot of money. They buy me stuff that is stupid and I should not have, and I will crush it. Anyways, as Zach is walking by the group of people kind of crowded around Andy's car, they start pressing him a little bit, being like, oh, did you drive to school? Did you drive here? We told you not to drive here, bro. You're gonna regret it. And Zach just thinks they're trying to look cool in front of all the people crowded around the car, so he blows past him and starts walking, and that's when Andy yells out, I'm gonna regret it. But he didn't say I'm, he said Zach. But Zach, oh, you're gonna regret it. Sorry, I was reading the email a little bit. My bad. Anyways, he's like, you know what? I'm not afraid of these dudes. I'm just over it. And he goes into school, which probably when someone starts threatening your car when it's there, you might want to stick around and figure out what they're saying. But hey, man, bygones are bygones. Mistakes happen. It's all right now, never to let your car get stolen again by a bunch of 16-year-olds. And all day, everything's fine. He gets a couple compliments on his car. People asking him if it's his, how it's been going. Everybody's being pretty chill about it because it was a big deal at their school. But he's just kind of keeping his head down, minding his own business. And all day, he's super excited to get out of school, get back to the car, and go drive around. Obviously, it's new. He had just gotten it. Yeah, no one wants to be locked up in school all day when they could be out driving around their brand new car they just got. Let's be honest. School already sucks, but it's even harder once you have a car. Taking a day off and, driving around is awesome. Having a car and being in high school is a lot like being a dog and having your leash taken off outside. You shouldn't make a break for it and run because your owner's gonna get mad, but you really want to do it anyways. I'm gonna be honest, I had way too much freedom once I got my car in high school, bro. I got my car and my attendance rate started going down. I just was like, I'm gonna go to anywhere. Usually there's too much freedom involved once you can go anywhere, especially for stupid small brains like mine. Who came up with this idea and expected people not to be ditching school, though? It's a miracle that not everyone with a car never comes. We're just gonna throw you guys in a building with 1,600 strangers that might bully you or might not. You might get along, there's a good chance you won't. Good luck, have fun, enjoy it for 12 years. Oh, and by the way, we tell you not to leave, but there's gonna be 2,000 of you, so if any of you leave, we actually won't notice as well. It's honestly a miracle that more kids aren't skipping school. So whatever, he's just sitting there all day, sitting on his thumbs, ready to go out, get in his car, and go drive around, obviously, as you would be. All y'all are gonna get a car one day and be like, all of a sudden, driving around the freeway doesn't sound that bad, because it's your car and you're doing it. Alright guys, I'm going to interrupt the video for just 1 second. On screen now is actually an Xbox gift card. I give away a gift card in every single upload on this channel as a way to just say thank you to everyone who's subscribed with notifications on. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications. It helps out the channel an absolute ton. And if you are already subscribed with notifications on, then thank you so much. You guys help out the channel an absolute butt ton. And yeah, on that note, I'll let you guys get back to the story time. Appreciate the support, and to whoever got the gift card, enjoy it. Anyways, before I get more off track, the school day ends up ending, and Zach goes out to the parking lot to find his car and go home. So at first he's like, dang it, bro, I park in the parking lot at school for the first time, and I forget where I park. So he's walking around the parking lot looking for it, and he can't find his car. Then he spends about 20 minutes just kind of walking around the parking lot. It wasn't an enormous parking lot or anything, and as he's walking around, he's like, oh my god, I can't figure out where this car is. And suddenly it hits him. He's been walking around the parking lot for 20 minutes without even as much of a glimpse of his car, and Andy had been telling him that he was going to regret it and his car was going to disappear and everything else. And yeah, you pretty quickly puts two and two together that for whatever reason and for however reason, Andy had something to do with his car going missing while he was at school during the day. And obviously he starts freaking out, bro, thinking he has the worst luck of all time. On the first day of you taking your car to school, bro, it gets stolen out of the parking lot. What a bizarre place for a criminal to go and just start stealing stuff. That's why you had to have been somebody at school, right? Could you just imagine? All right, Tony, as we know, Grand Theft Auto is one of our favorite crimes. Let's go to the local high school and steal a student's car. Obviously, in the midst of freaking out, he calls his parents instead of the police first because he doesn't really know what to do or if it's stolen or what's going on. So he calls his parents and he's talking to his mom and he's like, Mom, my car's gone. Mom, my car's gone. And his mom's like, all right, well, I'm going to give the phone to your dad because he'll know what to do. And his dad just goes into total dad mode and starts telling him what to do and all this. And finally, he's like, son, why did you call me instead of the police if your car is missing? I'm at work. What do you want me to do about it? So at that point, he kind of realizes like, oh, yeah, my car is gone. Like, it's out of here. This isn't, something that my mom and dad can fix, bro. I understand that moms have a radar for finding things that are lost, but somebody stealing your car is probably a little bit out of her wheelhouse, bro. Unless the scrapbooking that she does is a little bit intense and involving like finding hidden artifacts. So his dad tells him to register his car as stolen and call the cops so that way they can start looking for it. So he hangs up with his dad, and at that moment, before he can even dial the cops' phone number, in comes Andy's car to the parking lot. And at this point, the parking lot is basically emptied out. There's a couple of teachers' cars that are still there, but like for the most part, the students have gone home. And Andy's car pulls up to Zach all slow, and he like slowly rolls down the window the way they do in the movies when someone's just about to be a douche, It was like this guy had just watched a bunch of Adam Sandler movies as a kid and related to the guy that like bullied everyone and nobody liked. That was who he wanted to be for some reason. And he starts teasing Zach, being like, "Where's your car? Where's your car?" And at that point, he had an idea that for some reason Andy had been behind his car going missing, but now he knew for sure. Like, what are the odds that you come back to school, pull up to me, and start asking me where my car is? You know what I mean? Unless you'd had something to do with it going missing. So Zach's not in the mood for playing games. Andy's trying to tease him, make fun of him, like, haha, where's your car? And he's having none of it. So he looks at Andy and he says, "You have 30 seconds to tell me where my car is or I'm calling the cops. Do you understand? I know you had something to do with it. They have security cameras in the school. You tell me now or I call the police." And as soon as he mentions the police, calling the cops, and any of that, bro, Andy's face goes from like this cocky smirk of like, haha, I have your car, to no, dude, don't call the cops, don't call the cops, don't call the cops. I can get the car for you. I can get the car for you. And yeah, his whole demeanor changed, bro. He went from I'm tough to I'm scared real quick. So instantly Zach is like, "Where's my car?" And Andy starts explaining that he had his dad come earlier. I guess his dad had like a flatbed trailer and load the car onto the trailer while they were in school and take it to Andy's house because he wanted to be the kid with the car after school. And at that point, Zach's like, "So let me get this straight. You're such a little twat that needs, all the attention on you that you had your dad come steal my car so that way I would have to walk home because you wanted attention in the parking lot after school." And Andy was basically like, "Well, when you put it that way, yeah, when you put it that way, it sounds stupid, but there's no other way to put it, Andy. That's literally what you did. Like, how else do you want to say the facts?" So obviously at that point, Zach's like, "I'm calling the cops. I've had enough of this. Your dad's going to jail. You stole my car. Like, I'm not playing games." And Andy is like, No. Please don't call the cops. Please don't call the cops." And he starts explaining to Zach, and obviously this is why I had to change the names, that his dad had gotten like a DUI 2 weeks earlier, and if he had stolen a car and got caught doing it, he was going to go to jail for a really long time. And listen, man, that's not something very refreshing to hear. By the way, the person who stole your car, put it on a flatbed, and drove it across town to my house also drives drunk. That isn't more refreshing, but Zach is kind of like, "Well, crap, I really don't want to send this kid's dad to jail forever." So he talks to Andy and he's like, "Fine, I'm getting in your car. We're going to my house. And you're going to give me my car back, you're going to give me the keys, and you're going to give me $2,000 in cash, or I'm telling the police." And Andy's like, "Bro, we're not giving you any money. Are you kidding me? Da-da-da-da-da." And Zach at that point is like, "Look, I can tell the cops, bro. Your dad stole my car." Imagine getting involved in that, dude. Like, how do you even get involved in that as a dad? I'm not a dad. I don't have a kid. That being said, if my future kid ever comes to me and says, "Hey, Dad, will you commit Grand Theft Auto so that way I can be the cool kid in school?" I'll be like, "Son, I play the game. I don't do it in real life." Anyways, Andy reluctantly agrees, only because his hands are tied here. His options are either taking him to his house and giving him his car, or his dad goes to jail, So he hops in the car, and on the way, Andy is dead silent. Like, this kid that's usually chirping, talking all this crap is quiet now. And you can really tell what someone's actually like when they're in a crappy situation. If, the charm, the charisma, the crap talking turns off, it's like, oh, you messed up, buddy. He was well aware of the fact that, like, this was arguably the biggest screw up of all time. And Zach just kept kind of mentioning, like, he was really lucky that he didn't send him to jail, and, like, his dad better be okay with giving him the money, da-da-da-da-da. Not even necessarily because he wanted to send everyone to jail. Obviously, no one wants to do that. But to mess with him and scare him and be like, yeah, you see, this ain't that funny, bro. Like, nobody else is giggling. Congratulations, you stole my car. Now look what you got yourself into. So whatever, after a very awkward car ride, they pull up to the house, and when they pull up, Andy's dad is, like, waiting for them in the driveway.
And he gets out and he's like, oh, so you must be Zach, the kid that tries to steal my kid's shine, huh? And Zach is, having none of this and is like, yeah, and you must be the old man that steals kids' cars. Where's my car? And when he says it like that, the dad is kind of like, oh, why you so angry? Like, I don't know. Why do you think he's so mad, bro? You came into the parking lot where all the kids park their cars, lifted it up on a flatbed and left. Did you expect him to be like high-fiving you, calling you a criminal genius for doing the easiest crime of all time? Literally the equivalent of stealing candy from a baby, but like the car version? So whatever, the dad is kind of like asking him to calm down, hey, we don't want any trouble here, we don't want to get the police involved. And Zach's like, yeah, you should have thought about that before you stole my car. Totally reasonable, bro. If you didn't want me to call the cops and you potentially to go to jail, then maybe you should have thought about that before you went around stealing people's cars. So whatever, the dad gives him his car keys and he's like, all right, okay, no trouble. And he's like, and I want my $2,000. And the dad is like, look, your car back is more than enough. And at that point, he's just realizing that this dad doesn't understand what's going on. And he realizes the dad's just not going to give him the money. So he's like, all right, fine. At least I get my car back. But he looks at the dad before he leaves. He looks at Andy and he's like, I want you guys to just stop messing with me, bro. Like, stop it. You guys stole my car, okay? I get it. You guys don't like me driving to school. I'm still going to drive to school. And you're going to let me and you're going to leave me alone. Because now I know that you guys stole my car. Like, you guys have to leave me alone at the bare minimum. Fine. And, the dad is kind of like looking at him thinking for a bit. And obviously, the fact that he had to think about it shows that this dude's probably got 5 brain cells combined. This kid's nice enough to not report you to the police for stealing his car. And you're going to, maybe encourage your son to keep messing with him. No, you make him back off, bro. To be fair, I would never be in a situation where I was stealing 16-year-old cars in the first place. This is like the Fast and Furious Little Tykes version, They're robbing semi-trucks for everything on the back of it to sell it for cash. This guy just goes around stealing like Power Wheels from children, all that good stuff, you know how it is. Finally, though, the dad is like, all right, Andy, I want you and your friends to leave him alone, He's obviously proven that, like, he deserves respect, even if we don't see eye to eye. Like, deserves respect, bro? What do you mean? Because he had a backbone about you stealing his car, all of a sudden it's like, oh, now you deserve respect. Before, nah, we were going to keep stealing your vehicle. But now that you've shown up and potentially could send me to jail, now I respect you. So, whatever, after that very weird encounter, he just got back in his car and went home. He gets home a little bit late, obviously, and his parents are like, oh, what happened? And he had just kind of told them that he had been, like, driving around and that, he had just taken a little bit of time to get home because he didn't want to tell his parents about what happened because obviously at that point they'd be like, yeah, you're not driving to school anymore, buckaroo. So he kept it a secret. In retrospect, he says in the email that he probably should have told his parents, and I would agree. I feel like car theft is one of those things you probably shouldn't be handling on your own at 16, but hey, what do I know, bro? I've done dumb stuff too. I really do just want to know what was going through that guy's head to get that involved in some, like, high school beef, bruh. The wildest part is that, like, the Andy kid and his friends really did leave the dude alone. I know you're thinking, well, obviously he had to. There was a felony committed, but you gotta remember here, guys, that this is a high school bully. Usually they are not the sharpest tools in the shed, so the fact that he could put down the crayon, stop eating him for a second long enough to realize he should leave him alone, hey, I gotta give the guy a little bit of credit. I guess he's got more brain cells than I thought he did. Moral of the story, don't steal people's cars. It's really not that deep, guys, unless you're Dominic Toretto, okay? Anyways, on that note, I think that's gonna do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to press the like button and comment down below. Come on, I just entertained you for 23 minutes. The least you could do is smack a like button and leave me a comment. Other than that, if you guys want to support the channel, you can check out a link to the 2 million subscriber merch that is going to be down below in the description. Along with that, if you enjoyed the intro song, a link to that can be found down there as well. And I actually have a podcast called The Scuffed Cast, which can also be found in the description. Wow, it's so many treasures down there. Other than that, if you are in the market for some energy drinks to keep you gaming and you're going to get yourself some G Fuel, the best energy drink for gaming, go ahead and use code SCRUBBY at checkout for a little bit of a discount. Helps me out, helps you out. Let's scratch each other's backs here. You know what I mean. All right, I think that's everything that I've got to plug. Big thank you to everyone who's subscribed with notifications on. I really, really do appreciate it. If you're not, you might as well. So that way you never miss another upload here on the channel. I basically tell story times every day and, well, every other day. Sorry, guys. The longer ones take more time. But, yeah, if you're new around here, definitely subscribe. I'm going to go start a car stealing ring around a high school so I can crush everyone's dreams as soon as they get their first car. If anyone needs me, you know where I'll be. yeah, on that note, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and hopefully I will see you guys all next time with another video. I'm out. Peace.